Every show needs a villain, and this one has 6. They are known as the League of Men with Disappointing Hats. They are the Homeowners Association of Stannard, Vermont, and they don't necessarily care for their name. Nobody likes these guys, and because they always walk around with dull, boring, monochrome hats, they gave them that label, and they've never cared for it, but when the mayor starts calling you by that, you tend to just kind of shrug it off and accept it. Their goal is basically to control all of Stannard. Mayor Stanford isn't very hands-on. He doesn't really know what he's doing some of the time. And that leaves them, as not just the Homeowners Association, but as the mayor's top advisors, to pretty much use him as a puppet and make Stannard the way they want it, with them in charge. They're not very big people pleasers already, but they particularly don't like the Stannard gang. If you were to ask them which one they dislike the most, it would easily be Dr. Erasmus. His personality, youth, and inexperience just rub them all the wrong way. And Dawes, technically speaking, would be their favorite, but they're still not big on him either, mostly because of the company that he keeps. Each member of the league is named after a hat. The hat that they wear, specifically. Top is the leader. He's grumpy, he's crotchety, he's always angry and frustrated with everything. He rules the league with an iron fist, and he's mostly the one to bring up the issues that the league tries to go up against. Fez is the brainiac of the team. He is definitely the numbers guy. He doesn't really know how to socialize very well, but he sure has a good head on his shoulders, albeit a large one. Fedora is technically speaking their public relations person, but because he's not very good at it, Top mostly ends up taking that role anyways. Fedora tries so hard to be cool. Some say it's because he's just a weirdo, some say it's because he doesn't like the reputation that the league has. But one thing is for certain, he doesn't know what's cool. He talks in outdated slang, moves his hands around like a cartoon character, and overall just bothers people. Nevertheless, he's still definitely one to push the league's agenda. Bowler is by far the most devious of them. He's the only member to outright call himself evil. He loves dastardly plans and sneaky little tricks. Any little extra thing to help make their enemies angrier and make their lives a bit more difficult. But when he goes too far, he doesn't care unless Top cares. Then he cares. He's a bit desperate to be the favorite. Beanie is the muscle of the group, but he's not smart at all. Definitely the strong guy who is not very bright, but at least he doesn't try to be cool like Bowler. Then there's Cap, who doesn't really do much of anything. Not because he's underutilized, but it's because he's as lazy as can be. He just kinda sits around, loafs. He doesn't even talk, he just whistles to communicate. When the league is off doing something, you can usually find Cap sitting down, or reading a book, or leaning against something. He's not too engaged. He does share the group's agenda and mindset, but when it comes to actually acting it out, that might be a bit too difficult for him. Together, they all form a roadblock for the Stannard Gang's plans, and try to make Stannard all theirs. To find out more about the League of Men with Disappointing Hats, tune in to Stannard Misadventures, coming in 2020.